I told you earlier in the chapter you're going to have a lot of formulas to remember. We've got 6 more added to the list. Although 6 sounds like a lot and they look kind of ugly, it's not as bad as it looks, because really you can get away with remembering 3. If you look at inverse sine and inverse cosine, they're the same except for a negative. If you look at inverse cosecant and inverse secant, they're the same except inverse cosecant has a negative. And if you look at inverse tangent, inverse cotangent, again, they're the same except for a negative. Which ones have the negative? The C's, just like regular derivatives. Remember, derivative cosine, cosecant, cotangent, those all have a derivative that are negative. So that kind of falls into play. Basically, if you can remember the 3 regular ones, the other ones are all going to be the opposite of that. So it's not as bad as it seems. But those are ones you're going to need to remember for the test and for this quick quiz on Tuesday. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. For number 1, we've got inverse cosine. So that's one we just kind of figured out on our own, of 3x squared. So the 3x squared part is our u. Derivative of inverse cosine is negative 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared. So this whole 3x squared, the whole thing is being squared in there. Right? Don't just square the exponent or square the variable, but the 3 has to be squared also. So put parentheses around it. Then we have to multiply by du dx. So the derivative of u with respect to x. So derivative of 3x squared is 6x. So we end up with negative 6x over square root of 1 minus 9x to the 4th. Right? Can't simplify the square root. I know some people try to write it as 1 minus 3x squared. Doesn't work that way with the subtraction. We cannot simplify it that way. So it's as simplified as we're going to get it. I don't know if they rationalize it on a multiple choice, but that's easy enough. But we can just leave it as it is.